We're sitting up in Rochester, New York, where we were recording the first record, and I think it was Cliff. There was something about, fuck these people, kill them all. Okay, that sounds cool, kill them all.
Well, yeah, once they moved to San Francisco, I mean, they were writing some stuff that was really, really good. They had a couple opportunities to record something, and they came to me and said, hey, if we had this money, we could record something. But I'm a 21-year-old kid. I had no money or no way to get any money. So that's when Johnny Z at some point got a hold of them and said, hey, if you guys can come to New York, you can do a record.
I think they felt that we need things to just be a little bit more stable if we're going to be serious about this. Dave was out because he was just too much of a wild card at that point. And Kirk certainly brought a bit more stability.
We're going to turn it over now to the newest member, Mr. Kirk Hammett. He's going to melt your face with his guitar.
It was like April 1st, 1983. I got a phone call saying, hey, you're having problems with Dave. Come on out. I'll send you a tape. Learn the songs. Come out in a week. And I was like, sure.
I mean, he showed up the same day that Dave had left, came in to this horrible rehearsal space in Jamaica, Queens that was falling apart.
At that point, 20 years old, never been out of California.
You know, he showed up. Hey, how's it going, guys? Plug in, ripping. Like, whoa, okay.
It's one of those few guitar players that you instantly know it's Kirk. The same way you instantly know that's Eddie Van Halen, it's Jimi Hendrix, that's Kirk Hammett.
After about 5 or 6 weeks, we landed in Rochester, New York to start recording Kill 'Em All. That's when I realized that, oh, I guess I got the gig. I guess I'm in the band.
Punk had a huge influence over the thrash scene, and you take the European-style heavy metal that everybody grew up on, put it with the edge of the punk bands, and then you get this thrash thing that happened that was fast, heavy.
In the late 80s or so, there was the thrash punk crossover, which was like 86, 87. But at least in the Bay Area, that crossover happened 4 or 5 years before, and it's kind of embodied in Kill 'Em All, where they had this punk-like aggression, which I don't think metal kids were familiar with. We would go to these early shows, and there would be punks there.
We got called thrash metal, but it's not something we came up with. We just worked as hard as we could to write songs that made us want to bang our heads.
Yeah, Kill 'Em All was, here's what we know, here's what we do, headbang and destroy things.
Well, the energy, it felt good, you know? It felt right. It moved, it satisfied a feeling that I had inside of me.
A lot of anger, a lot of questioning things. What the hell am I doing? What do I do? Do I matter? A lot of just wanting to go crazy.
Certainly James was massively influenced by the punk scene, and you could hear that from the stuff they were doing, because it was faster and heavier than anybody else was doing.
We just played what we played, which is stuff that had faster beats, you know, Ramones, Sex Pistols.
It was like bringing together the punk and the metal thing in a very youthful way, because the band guys were, you know, all 20 years old or younger, and it wasn't a calculated thing.
It was just a combination of so many energies that came together. The energy and the attitude of Motorhead, the kind of the riffing and the song arrangement of Diamond Head. It was just a kind of it was an attitude.
We have a debut album out on Megaforce Records. It's called Kill 'Em All. Now, we weren't going to call the album something different. We were going to call the album Metal Up Your Ass.
Kill 'Em All was going to be called Metal Up Your Ass since day one, and there was no question.
Metal up your ass, it was a phrase that was a predominant part of who we were in the first year or two. It was a big fuck you to all the non-believers.
We ran into the business side of it, and hey, if you name your album that, they're not going to sell it here, 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 or here. I go, great. So we were pissed. We're rebels within this business. We can't even do what we want to do. How's that make you feel? Freaking kill them all.
All right.
One thing that record did when it came out was definitely freak everybody out, because this is the first time a U.S. band sounded like that, sounded heavy, sounded like a European band, sounded different from anything else that was going on at the time. It certainly took on a life of its own, that's for sure.
everybody was waiting for them. Everyone was waiting for the record, and everyone was waiting to see them live. You could feel it, like something new is happening here.